Hello everyone and welcome back to a new Call of Dragons guide. Today we're going to cover a very important topic, war pets. It's a feature that many players don't fully understand, even though there's a lot to learn if you want to progress faster and avoid wasting valuable resources. Before we begin, let me quickly show you my account to give you some context. As you can see, I'm sitting at almost a 100% merit to power ratio. As for this season, we managed to win the KVK alongside our allies. It was a great season with a huge number of fights. We faced a lot of T5 players, so the battles were extremely competitive and enjoyable. Looking at my seasonal stats, I wasn't able to beat my previous season's record. We may still have a few fights left in Zone 1 against the Migrants, so that could change, but for now I'm still below my previous record. If we look at my overall statistics, this is where I stand after 2 seasons of intense fighting. I didn't get many battles during seasons 1 and 2, so these numbers mostly come from later seasons. As for merits, I'm about to reach 100 million merits by the end of SOS1. Now let's get into the main topic of today's video. This guide will be divided into 2 parts. In the first part, I'll explain how to earn coins efficiently, but more importantly, how to spend them wisely so you don't waste them. In the second part, I'll show you how to level your first war pet skill to 3 stars quickly, safely, and at the lowest possible cost. So let's start with coins. First, I'll show you the main ways to earn them. The first method is by capturing war pets and then releasing them. Doing this gives you pet skills that you can sell for coins. The second method is through the draws available here. If you're lucky, you can get valuable skills that sell for a very good price. Finally, there's a third method that many players overlook, the Alliance Merit Shop. In this shop, you can buy skills for 50,000, 150,000, or 600,000 merits. To give you an idea of their value, the 50,000 merit skills usually sell for around 90 to 100 coins. The 150,000 merit skills generally sell for 500 to over 1,000 coins. The 600,000 merit skills usually sell for 3,000 to 5,000 coins. And one very important tip, never use the skills you buy from the Alliance Merit Shop. Always sell them. Even if you eventually need that specific skill, you'll be able to obtain it much more cheaply using the method I'll show later in this guide. If I had to rank the priorities, I'd clearly recommend buying the 600,000 merit skills first, followed by the 150,000 merit skills. Without them, progressing your war pets efficiently becomes much more difficult. Now that we've covered how to earn coins, let's talk about how to spend them wisely, because yes, there are several tricks that can save you a huge amount of coins. For example, if we open the skill shop and pick a random skill like Tranquility, you'll notice that buying it directly at level 2 costs 6,800 coins. However, if we go into the upgrade menu instead, we can buy the skill as a 0-star or 1-star version. To upgrade Tranquility to level 2 using this interface, you would first buy the 0-star version, then purchase 4 additional 0-star copies to reach 1 star, and finally 4 1-star copies to reach 2 stars. Doing it this way costs roughly 4,300 coins instead of 6,800 coins. The difference is huge. So, to summarize, never buy 1-star or 2-star skills directly from the skill shop. Whenever you want to upgrade a skill, always buy the 0-star version and level it up step by step through the upgrade interface. This simple trick can save you anywhere from 20% to 50% of your coins, depending on the skill, allowing you to make far more upgrades over time. There's another very important concept you need to understand before we move on to the next method. Not all skills cost the same to upgrade. Some skills are significantly cheaper than others. Why does this matter? Because the strategy we're about to use for getting your first war pet skill to 3 stars requires repeatedly buying and upgrading 1-star and 2-star skills. That's why it's important to know which skills are the cheapest, so you can use the upcoming method as efficiently as possible. This is extremely important because it allows you to save a massive amount of coins. You'll quickly understand why once we get into the method itself. Just remember that some skills are incredibly cheap to upgrade, while others are extremely expensive. Knowing the difference is essential if you want to optimize your coin spending. Now that we've covered all of that, let's move on to the most important part of this video. How do you level your first war pet skill to 3 stars quickly, safely, and at the lowest possible cost? Now let's see how to quickly upgrade your war pet's first skill to 3 stars. As you can see on the screen, I've already prepared quite a few examples. The principle is very simple. Whenever you capture a war pet, your goal is to make sure it only has 2 skills. For example, like this one has 3 skill slots, but only 2 skills, which is exactly what we're looking for. On the other hand, this one already has more than 2 skills. In that case, you'll need to regenerate it until it only has 2 skill slots. So keep regenerating the pet until it only has 2 skills. There we go. It now has 2 skills, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Once that's done, we're going to upgrade the second skill, the one we don't want to keep, to 1 star. Why do we do this? Simply because it creates a 1-level difference between the skill we want to obtain, which is the first skill, and the one we don't want. Thanks to this difference, the odds change dramatically. Instead of having roughly a 50% chance of getting the correct skill when releasing the pet, you'll now have around an 80% chance of getting the first skill. Now all that's left is to release the pet. As you can see, we successfully obtained the skill we wanted. You'll then repeat this exact process for every war pet you capture. Now let's look at another example. Here, I captured a sand lizard that already has a 1-star skill. In this case, we still want to maintain a 1-star difference between the 2 skills. So we're going to upgrade the second skill to 2 stars, upgrade it once, then a second time until it reaches 2 stars. Once that's done, release the pet again, and once again we successfully get the skill we were looking for. To summarize this first part, capture a war pet. If necessary, regenerate it until it only has 2 skills. Then always create a 1-star difference between the first skill, the one you want to keep, and the second skill. This level difference greatly increases your chances of getting the correct skill when releasing the pet. Now, let's go back to the tip I mentioned earlier about saving coins. When I want to upgrade a skill, some of them are very cheap, costing only 20 coins, while others are much more expensive. As you can see here, this one costs me 240 coins. In this case, I definitely don't want to upgrade this expensive skill directly. Instead, I go to the shop. I apply the 0-star filter so that only base skills are displayed. You'll notice that some skills only cost 21 or 24 coins at 0 stars. However, once they reach 1 star, they suddenly cost nearly 280 or 290 coins. Those skills are actually traps. They're cheap at first, but they become extremely expensive afterwards, so I recommend avoiding them. Instead, choose a skill that's actually cheap to upgrade, like this one. Buy it, then go back to your pet. Simply replace the expensive skill with the one you just bought. Then upgrade this new skill to 1 star. With this method, you'll save a huge amount of coins because you're no longer upgrading an expensive skill, but a much cheaper one instead. Once you've understood how this works, all that's left is to keep farming your 0-star skills. Once you have 4 identical copies, you can take a 5th 0-star skill and upgrade it. Feed those 4 identical skills into it. You'll end up with a 1-star skill, then simply repeat the exact same process. Keep repeating it over and over again. Eventually, you'll have 4 identical 1-star skills. At that point, feed them into another 1-star skill to upgrade it to 2 stars. From there, you'll be able to upgrade your real war pet's first skill by feeding that 2-star skill directly into the war pet you actually want to improve. If you follow this method correctly, you'll be able to get a 3-star first skill in roughly 70 to 90 days, depending on your luck and how consistently you follow the process. The total cost will be around 20,000 coins. That's exactly why, at the beginning of the video, I emphasized how important it is to earn your coins efficiently and even more importantly, spend them wisely. But don't worry, spending around 20,000 coins over 2.5 to 3 months is completely achievable even as a free-to-play player. All you need to do is earn some merit every week, regularly buy your skills from the shop, and stick to this method. By doing so, you'll be able to upgrade your war pets much faster, much more efficiently, and without wasting your resources. I sincerely hope this guide taught you something and that you'll find it useful. I also hope it was easy to understand, because I've watched a lot of videos on this topic, and found that many of them left people confused or didn't fully explain the method. If this video helped you, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss future guides. I'm also going to leave you with a recording of me farming skills in case some of you would like to see more examples. I'll see you very soon in the next video, and most importantly, never forget, mages is life.